Hello and welcome back to Dish the Dirt, the light-hearted and fun podcast.
Well, it's only taken us 5 years, but finally I'm catching up with Petrina and we're going to find out everything that's bloomed, died back and come up again for you. Welcome back to Dish the Dirt.
Thanks, Miss Beck. Good to see you. I'm loving the new haircut. Very groovy, very new.
Thank you.
Yeah, it looks cool, babe. I cut my own hair the other day with the garden scissors.
Oh, yeah, good.
Yeah, over 3 days. But I think it's fine.
Yeah,
It works. Like, it doesn't matter really if you've got crazy hair, but the hairdresser told me off and said she needed to fix it. I said, I need to fix a lot of things, don't worry.
There's a woman, remember when we were in London and Sophie told us about this lady who lives on her canal boat? And I can't remember her name, but she cuts her own hair too. And she's so cool.
Well, they wanted to charge like $140. That's like 140 tulips.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Or
Yeah.
a good bottle of gin. I'm like, nah, can't deal. Can't deal. I need my alcohol. Bad, but I do. Got to survive.
So what does the garden look like 5 years later?
5 years in, well, we're in winter in Australia now. So she's sound asleep, which I'm happy for her. She's sleeping away.
Mm.
So if anything, more lawn has come up because I think lawn's a bit overrated. I mean, I grow it long for the pollinators in summer anyway. I do love my summer lawn because it's wild. I literally let it go.
Do
But
You're not
yeah,
worried
I
about
love it.
snakes? Well, you live in the middle of the city, so you're right.
Yeah, I mean, there is the Darabin Creek, but it's too far away. In my old home in Northcote, we had snakes in the back garden. That was scary. But here, it's fine. So, but I've taken up more lawn for more flower beds, for more little bees to come visit, which I love. And I've put in more beautiful weeping cherry. And I've got this beautiful native hill, so Hill of Natives, which I really love. So there's some native action and stick hotels, insect stick hotels. Because I read them in a book, so I'm like, yeah, I'll put some of them in, which is gorgeous. So it's kind of like this wild hill, just full of wildlife and sticks and cobwebs and spiders and go up there. It's a bit scary, but it's good.
Love it. So for anyone who didn't hear the first episode, how would you describe where you are versus our 2020 chat? Such a long time ago. We were coming out of COVID. You weren't famous. You are now.
No, I'm not famous. In my own lunchbox. We were coming out of COVID, I remember, and yeah, we were locked up for a long time in Melbourne. Only now, looking back, I realised that wasn't normal. I speak to my friends around the world. I'm like, wow, we're really locked up. But we were lucky because, we had gardens. So looking back then, I was always planting so many bulbs, but it was just never public. So it was always private on my Instagram. And I think I mentioned maybe in our last podcast, I flipped my account to go public.
Yeah.
And that's when I realized that maybe planting, 10,000 bulbs wasn't normal. And I'm an artist, so artists are a little bit woo-hoo. So it's, and I put more in now. I think this year was maybe 16,000.
Wow.
Yeah. So it will be really beautiful. So it's probably just a little bit more en masse, but with more natives mixed through, which I love, trying to kind of get with the change of the seasons. There's a lot more natives mixed in the garden and everyone's grown. Everyone's grown a lot more, like the beautiful Mount Fuji, I call her my vase now. And she's one of the fastest growing cherry blossoms. And she's quite extraordinary. She frames the entire spring garden. She's the one you'll see in my reels, all the white blossoms behind. And she's just beautiful.
Yeah. Do you when you are planting now, do you think about, because your audience is very much online, do you think about how it's going to look in the camera?
No, not at all. No, I actually just do it for as if the space is my own art installation. I'm seeing it with my own eyes there and then. So it's kind of living in 3 dimensions in my garden. So when I'm working with my wisteria and I'm taming her, I'm growing her so I can kind of make her the way she is, because she's like a big art installation. I'm just looking through my eyes. No. And then the rest, all the filming for Instagram, that's just all secondary.
Yeah.
So, and the angles I'd use for Instagram are different to the ones in real life. Anyway, I think, there's a trick working with the camera as opposed to the real life.
Yeah.
So, 2 different realities.
Which one's the best?
I always say to my kids, oh my gosh, kids, I'm the biggest hypocrite. I'm like, off your phones. But Mom, you're always in your phone. And it's kind of, this cruel paradox. I am in my phone because my business has kind of gone online now, but I always say to the kids, it's better to live in 3 dimensions than 2, so you've got to be out there doing it, out there living. But then there's this other side where, yes, I am, your community's online, which I absolutely love, but you've just got to recognize what's real and what's not real. And that's what I teach my kids.
Yeah,
Try and
yeah.
teach my kids. Yeah.
Yeah. So what's the biggest thing that's changed for you?
Well, probably that what started out as like a side hustle and a bit of fun ended up turning into a full-on business. Like I make money from it now. I live off it. It's set me overseas. In my wildest dreams, I would never have thought I'm, doing floral workshops in France. So I'm like pinching myself, going, "Is this
Yeah.
real?" With the most beautiful women who love flowers and who love eating cheese and drinking wine, So I think that's probably the biggest thing, that something that just the passion and my joy has turned into something that I can share with other people, which I absolutely love. And just how it's turned into an actual job, which is
Yeah.
a real, it's a real blessing. Very, very lucky.
And how did you do that? What was the biggest step? Did it just happen organically?
Oh, it's a good question. I don't know. I think when you do what you love, people see that. And I know when I see people doing what they love, I want to get involved and I want a piece of it, So I think maybe that's what happened. People just saw these flowers and all this joy, and then it just kind of blew up online, which was really
Yeah.
interesting. It just kind of blew up online. And then, I don't know, it just kind of went from there. When it blew up, that's when things kind of started changing. So that's when people would approach me to start making reels and collabs, and that then helped fund the business side, that type of thing. So there's kind of 2 arms. There's a business arm where you're doing your Insta reels and your collabs and your TikTok side and all that social media side. But then there's the side which I also love, the connection, where people are coming into my garden and I'm doing floral bouquet workshops and I'm teaching people my craft and the joy of flowers, and doing these great garden tours and, laughing with the people and showing them around and talking about the garden for an hour. I love that side of it. I love bringing people in. That's my favorite. That's my absolute favorite.
Yeah, yeah. And so you went to France this year and you're going to...
Yeah, I've got another one coming up in India, so that'll be fun, a retreat. So floral, it's not a retreat this one. This is like a go everywhere thing. So, and I haven't been to India. As an air hostess, I was only ever on the plane.
Good.
Yeah, have you been?
I've been to Nepal, but not to India.
Oh, that's
I'd love
cool.
to go to India. Yeah.
Me too. So
Yeah.
I think there's about 4 spots left. So that'll be fun. I can't wait to do India and then France again next year and the year after. And and we'll see. We'll see some other places, some things in the pipeline. So it'll be fun. But just joyful. Just lucky that I can kind of, my passion turned into what I love, which is travel as well. Travel and flowers and connecting with people. So I'm really lucky. I'm really blessed.
Yeah, amazing. And you've been writing a book?
Wow, I finished it. Which is really funny for someone with ADHD to try and sit down. That was funny. Yeah, so the book I loved it. I was lucky enough to write with the seasons. So I was writing with the seasons of my garden as they went. And it took its own form, which was so beautiful. So I ended up talking about flowers and my relationship with the garden and how that has helped me through life. So, it touches on, there's like a chapter on grief, on loss, on hope, resilience, on joy. So the book will be called Garden Joy, and it's all about how a garden can hold us in all of that and our sadness. And like, for me, that's why I went into a garden, was to it was kind of ointment for life sadness for me. So it's kind of how I dealt with life and dealt with the sadness of life, was just to grow beauty and to grow joy. And I thought, well, life is fleeting, but joy is something that I can enjoy. Something that you can just find in the smallest of flowers with your cup of coffee. And to me, that's the answer to happiness for life for me. So the book kind of, this was all came from that. But it turned out to be very different. There are flower bouquet recipes, which are lovely, but not too many. There are cut flowers to grow, but not too many. So it's a book about, it's a resource, but it will really be about your relationship with the garden and how she can hold you and meet you wherever you are, or your relationship with flowers and how they can, help you in your sadness or help you in your loss. I spoke about my postnatal depression, a few other things.
Yeah.
And everyone has been through something, every gardener and every flower lover has a tale. So I just put mine down into words, and I hope that I don't know, maybe brings comfort to people and they, realize they're not alone, and also about the joy and how we can find joy, how to find joy in the flowers.
Yeah, it sounds beautiful. And I think we did talk about that really briefly on our last podcast chat, was how it helped you with postnatal depression. And I hear it so much from so many people who I speak with about how they got into flower farming or gardening or being a florist because they were struggling with something mentally. How
Yeah,
it really helped.
yeah.
Yeah.
The healing. I think the healing powers of Mother Nature, just how it heals you even without realizing it, even just being out in nature, rug up, take a walk in the wild wind, tell the wind your problems. That's part of my book, a little tell, whisper things to the wind, tell the moon everything, just how nature's heard it all before and she's around us the whole time. And everyone is feminine in my book. except for two people. The barefoot, those what are canthus things that I just cannot kill, that's at my front door. And my compost heap Bruce on the hill, who I don't like. I do like men, don't get me wrong, sorry, but as a new feminist, I'm like,
No.
girl power, girl power.
So when we were on the podcast, you said that you had 50 roses and 8,000 plus bulbs a year on 690 square meter block. And I think you were taking over the lawn then, and you'd already moved house from one other place because you ran out of land. Have you run out of room again? Or
Yeah.
you feel like you're happy with where you're at?
I'd run out of room again. That's okay. I think, where I'm at, I'm happy to be where I'm at the moment. I'm experimenting with natives and I'm loving that. I've got all these straw flowers in this year. I have over 1,000. So I can't wait to see what they look like. So I'm just creating in new little ways because I don't think we'll move again. Got to get the kids through school, like one phase at a time.
Yeah.
So yeah, I look after the kids first, and this will always be my side hustle, So yeah, so that's So the wisteria is still going. So as long as Wendy's still there, I'm happy.
When is your book out? I should have asked that.
It's coming out in March next year. I keep forgetting what year it is, 27. So it's coming out around the world, which is exciting because there's talk I might get to go to America and maybe go to the United Kingdom. I'm like, oh my goodness, I mightn't come home because I want to live in Europe one day. I wish. I'm such a daydreamer. So yeah, so fingers crossed I'll be able to go over and help with the launches. That would be amazing. I didn't realize they have a big market in America and the United Kingdom, which is really interesting because it's kind of global. You kind of feel I love all my flower growers and my local girlies, and that's who I connect with. But little do you realize you're kind of reaching people around the world. It's very bizarre. I just got back from my trip away, and then we were having dinner in Paris, and this girl said, "Oh my gosh, you're on my mood board." I'm like, "What?" Yes, look, here's a photo. Here's your wisteria and your garden, and I want to grow joy. I'm like, wow, that's bizarre. It was bizarre. And I suppose it just shows like how social media can connect you. And then there's TikToker in southern France, it's like, "Oh, you're that flower lady." I said, "Yeah, I'm that flower lady." I'm that nuts flower lady. You got it, babe. So yeah, the power to connect.
It's so amazing how far you've come just from sharing something that you love so much. You say that you're daydreaming, but really, I feel like you've really put your dreams into reality, and you laugh about it, but I feel like what you've done is pretty incredible in the last 5 years.
Oh, thanks, Bexy. I don't know, when you just kind of do what you love, it's just an extension of who you are. So it feels normal to like grow flowers for me and to be in love and completely obsessed with flowers. I am that little person taking photos you could be looking at the Eiffel Tower, but I'm filming the flowers. I'm that person. I take flowers with me when we go out for dinner. All my girlfriends know I'll turn up with picked flowers from my garden. I hand out bulbs to everyone in growing season. Lately, I just handed them to the lady in the bread shop, and she wasn't there, so I left them. I went back a week later, and I said, "How did you go?" She said, "Thanks for the garlics." I'm like, "What?" I said, "They were tulips." I said, "Did you eat them?" She said, "Yeah, my flatmate cooked them up for me." I thought, "Oh God, thank goodness you can eat them." We had a good laugh. She had 4 left. I said, "Well, look, put them in the ground. They're yellow tulips. Let's see what happens."
You could have become like the next Erin.
That was what I was worried about.
Mushroom lady.
I know. What are they? What's poisonous? Maybe hyacinths or delphiniums or something. Once I did put delphiniums in our drinks without realizing it, nearly killed my mates. But and I'm like, oh, crikey, sorry about that, guys.
No. So what's been the biggest like heartbreak in the garden since we spoke?
I think there's always heartbreaks, like constantly. That's part of working with Mother Nature. You know, there's
Yeah.
always things that don't work out. I just lost 1,000 delphiniums in like 3 weeks, and I'm thinking, do I have that many slugs and snails? But I do, obviously. So I just lost a whole lot. But I just think that's part of working with Mother Nature. And sometimes, you know, I wish I had support. I'm a one-woman show. I do it all myself. And then sometimes I see all these people with their amazing couple partners who can build this and build that. I'm like, oh, where do I find one of them on eBay? You know, like I love my Ricky, but God, it would be great to get some help, you know. So I think there's always, you know, there's always struggles and stuff. But as Mum said, it's always the attitude, you know, you just see the world half glass full, half empty. So we choose, you know, half empty and always have a laugh. So always just tread lightly. That's what I reckon. But whatever, you know, sometimes everything, that cat, my stupid that cat, Lavender squashes all my renunks, and I'm so done. In the end, I just let her. I'm like, whatever. I can't fight this battle anymore, Lavender.
She is the cutest cat. I showed my kids that photo you sent me the other day, and they were just like, "What? What is that
Yeah.
cat?"
She's so chungus. She's really beautiful, and I think I'm a feeder. I'm a feeder. She needs another 10. Look at her. She's sad. We'll just have one more, Labby. And she loves it. I love her. She's my head gardener.
Labby. Love
Yeah,
her.
Lab. We love Lab.
So Melbourne keeps kind of getting hotter, and you've talked about before the tension between like old-fashioned gardens and drought-tolerant trend. Has the climate sort of forced you to think about what you're growing? And I know you've said you put in a few more like wildflowers. Is that why?
Yeah, I think so. Definitely. It is changing. I mean, goodness, it's been a really warm winter.
Yeah.
That's the real worry, you know. You kind of think jasmine is flowering out here now. I'm like, okay, that's not normal. The plane trees have gone to bud already. That usually comes, gone to seed. That usually comes, you can see it all, you know, in the street. That doesn't come until September. So I think, yeah, you know, it's good for me. I need to change. I bought a lot more books to read. I need to learn a lot more. You know, I've always just grown these beautiful English flowers because I love them. But the climate's changed and I need to change with it. You know, I love reading about science. I'm a big science full nerd and I love reading about science. So it's like, well, how will my craft now adapt to what's happening? Yes, I can get new water tanks, which I have. I've got new water tanks up the side. But just realistically, I need to start, you know, looking at how I can change the way I garden, not to throw it all out because I do love my roses. But looking at, you know, well, which roses could I bring in that can handle the Australian heat? You know, the Australian ones which are born and bred for changing the way I garden. So I'm looking forward to that challenge. And that's something that I'll look at next year. You know, I do have a lot of natives coming in, which I love. You know, there's so much beauty in native. Yeah. So it's something I'm reading up on and
Yeah.
learn about.
Yeah, I need magnolia at there. Like, when do we need it? We need it for a florist in like 3 weeks, and
Yeah.
it's in Sydney, and it's all bloody flowering now, isn't it?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it's the way of it. And I was like, oh, I don't even know if there'll be any around. And then all of a sudden, the market's like all of it, and I'm like, oh
Yeah.
no,
Yeah. Yeah. I know. That's
early.
early. Everything's popped already. It's quite extraordinary. It really is. It's quite scary, but yeah.
Yeah. And so, do you still have people coming through your garden? How often
I
do you hold tours?
I do. So come springtime. Last year was great. Last year was the first time I think I opened it up. I think. Yeah, it was. And I had like over 1,000 people. It was wonderful come through.
Wow.
Yeah, it was incredible. And, you know, and they're gardeners and flower lovers. So we have great conversations and I learn from them and they take a few things home and it was just beautiful. And then we had like a flower bar that's open and Addie makes up the flowers with me and we can give some money to mental health, youth mental health. That's our passion. And so it was like, it was really, really rewarding. And this year we'll do it again. So I'm actually getting a website because I've put it off forever, but I'm going to get a website. I'm going to get a website.
going back in time, websites.
Yeah, I'm going back and getting a website. And I thought, I want one of those letter things. Hey, you can write to people as well, I'd like that too. You can send friends mail. I'd like that as well, like a newsletter.
No, I feel like you should. That would be so great. I would love snail mail from you.
Yeah, why don't you
100%. Well, I
start,
think you've
babe?
sent me snail mail before, which has been
Yeah, I do. I'm a snail mailer. Like I'll send a card. So does my friend Jane, Jane Eds, and I know I talk about Jane because I just adore
yeah.
her. We became good friends from Ghana in Australia. And we've been friends for 4 or 5 years now. And like she's a snail mailer and I'm a snail mailer. I'm like, oh, that's the way I can tell my friends because we just post letters to each other.
Yes.
Next I'll be knitting, babe. Next I'll be knitting with my cup of tea by the fire. I can't wait. Can't wait to grow old. Whoa.
There is actually a girl, I think she's in America, and she started like a little stall in the front of her house and it was selling preserves, I think. And then it just got bigger and bigger and she ended up having like a little market in the front of her house every month. So other producers would come and then she started snail mail. So she now has like thousands and thousands of people that she sends letters to every month. And I think it's quite a lucrative business for her. So there
Oh,
you go.
wow. Good on
Yeah.
her. I've seen that on Insta. I've seen a few of them on Insta.
Yeah.
Like, good on them. Bring back the letter, the card in the mail.
Yeah, beautiful. I would write the letter and then it would sit on my desk. And it would never
Sorry, I've
get to
done that
mail.
too, babe. Sorry, I've done that a million times as well. I've done that.
I know myself too well.
This ADHD, you forget what you're doing half the time, right? Honestly,
Yeah.
if I just burn everything. I'd have to set alarms. You leave things on the stove and the next thing you know, you're out weeding.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then the kids have no dinner again. Like, I'm so grateful my Addie taught herself to cook because she said, Mum, I love you, but we just need to eat, I'm like, I'm so grateful she put a lot of her creativity into cooking. So it actually can work as a good tactic.
Yeah.
Bring the
Awesome.
food and then get the kids to do it. And then you
Otherwise,
don't have to cook.
I could just eat tulip bulbs.
Yeah, thank God she didn't die. She's a really cool chick as well. I'm like, oh my gosh, imagine that. Norfolk girl dies in bakery because of crazy lady's bulbs. Far out.
So back in 2020, we were both talking again about how we really wanted that shift towards people getting behind local and seasonal growers. And 5 years on, how do you feel that shift is? Do you think it's actually happened?
I think it's been received. The messaging has been received really well, and the education around supporting local, buying local. It's definitely got a lot more media coverage, which is great. Plus the growing of the social media platforms who are all supporting the movement, which is fantastic, and also the sustainable florist, Reader Sustainable Florist movement is growing really strong, worldwide. Her work is incredible. Your work is incredible, showcasing locally grown flowers. Also, like common flowers in the UK as well and America. So it's this worldwide push. And I think it's fantastic. The education has been there, and especially with the brides, a lot of our market for those who do work with brides or events. I know a lot of my girlfriends now ask the right questions and help educate the client as to what they can get. I mean, all those beautiful things you have at the Yarramelli Flower Hub. I mean, how lush. This is homegrown love, when you show your clients that this is what you could have, how fresh and beautiful this is, grown with love. I mean, I think it's just a matter of creating that awareness. So I think it's come a long way, and I think we've got a long way to go. But I think, with your podcast, dish the dirt and really showcasing our beautiful growers who are incredible, doing all this hard work. Often they've got families as well and other jobs as well. Like it's quite extraordinary what's happening.
Yeah.
Really.
Yeah. And it's blimmin' hard work. I don't know. I can't do it anyway.
It's such hard work. It is, and then these guys are like, it's way bigger than me. I've just got the small garden. These guys are like fields and have to be all over it. It's like next level amazing. I take my hat off to them. I don't think I could do it. I'd probably just get too obsessed with one patch and kill the dahlias I don't think I could. I think my brain could do it. Like it's pretty amazing what they do.
Yeah. It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
So being like you having your like Instagram community, and how has it changed your life in ways like has it changed you in ways you didn't expect?
Well, I think it's lovely. It's kind of made, as I mentioned, just maybe more international. Like I speak to people from Canada and South America and places from all over the world. And then, I've connected with other gardening organisations and gardeners on a global scale, which is really lovely. So, I just did some work with the RHS when I was over in the UK, and pretty sure I'll go back to Chelsea next year, which I can't wait. And that wouldn't have happened if I wasn't like in the Instagram world or the TikTok world. I'm loving this flower talk, they call it, but the kids are a lot younger.
Flower talk.
Yeah, so it's the other side of it. It's just on TikTok. So it's like garden talk, flower talk, which is TikTok. And I think it's good because it's nature. The feed is giving them beauty. It's a healthier side of TikTok. That's what they all say.
Okay.
Whether it's nature talk, garden talk, or TikTok. And just, teaching them about joy and beauty and nature. I think it's quite healthy in their foods.
Yeah, awesome.
Yeah.
I don't even know how TikTok works. I'm so old. I don't even know.
Pretty crazy, babe.
I can't even do it. I've tried.
I'm not amazing at it. But it's completely different algorithms. It's a very, they kind of pay you for using music there. That's how you can kind of. I mean, there are ways to make money from TikTok, but I haven't gone down that avenue. I haven't done any of the lives or anything because it would just be a full-time job. It would literally be a full-time job.
Yeah.
And I've got flowers to grow. I've got ranunculate to come up. I've got roses to prune, baby. Roses waiting for me.
I know. I don't know how you find the time. I find it so hard to find the time for Instagram as it is. And I'm like not even famous. So, I mean, you've just got to put it out there. And I'm like, how do you do it? It blows my mind.
I love it and I hate it in all honesty. Like I love the community that it brings, but it is a machine, like it's an algorithm and you do need to feed it, and I don't like that time consuming side of it. I like that it brings people joy. Like that makes me really happy. I really hope the outcome brings people joy, but there's a lot to be said, as I said, living in 3 dimensions as opposed to 2, but it is lovely to reach people through it. Yeah, that's what I do love.
Yeah. So when we spoke, you were going to try and get a rose named after you. Have you had any progress? You said you're going to have to kill someone to do it. Anyone buried in the backyard?
It's a few bodies, babe, up on my hill. You wonder why the natives are growing so well. Whoa, Rebecca Noble, let me tell you. A few neighbours in there. Roger may be in there. No, only joking, Roger. Roger's a sweetheart. Well, this is what I loved last year. When I was researching for my book, I found there is a Petrina rose, and she's in Slovenia, the Slovenia their national garden, and she's pink, and she's crazy and wild. So I thought, my work is done.
Perfect.
Yeah, she's in Slovenia. So I thought, is it wrong to go over there on a trip and steal the thing? Yeah, probably.
Yeah, how good. You need to go there, snip a bit, and bring it back.
Oh, tempted.
Sometimes security's not listening to this, don't worry.
Yeah, don't worry about security. Nothing to see here. Move along. Looking back, I remember a few years ago, what was I thinking? I handpicked Daphne to take, when we met in UK, to take to my friends from my garden. I was like, let's see how far I can get this. It's, just thinking. I took Daphne overseas and sat in the plane. I got her all the way to Heathrow. I got her through customs in Heathrow. I'm on the next bus to fly out of Heathrow with my Daphne. And thinking, what am I doing? You know what I mean? I'm probably introducing all these bugs into their beautiful little. I gave it to the customs lady. I said, I'm sorry, this must stop here.
I've proven my point.
Yeah, I don't know what I was thinking. I think it took me back to the days when I was an air hostess and you could take flowers in and out of Dubai. They didn't care.
Yeah.
And I think I just wasn't registering that, okay, different countries. Things have changed now, Trina.
So at the end of every podcast, that before we flip the script, that I always ask people, like, what are their 3 things? And last time you answered, it was Par's wheelbarrow, the wisteria, and cosmos seeds. Are those still the 3 things you would take if you had to leave quickly?
I love Par's wheelbarrow, always Par's wheelbarrow, and the wisteria. But I'd probably take my soil, and that's a crazy response, but
Oh,
my
that's cool.
soil has been, the more reading I've done over the 5 years, the soil is everything. It's all about your
Mm.
soil. And I've worked so hard on my soil with my worms and my compost heaps, and I've worked so hard. It's been backbreaking, but I'd take my soil with me and I put it in a little plot and say, rest now. Your work is done. And I bury myself under it. No. I'd,
There is a festival in New Zealand called Ground Up, and it's all about soil. It's held on like different flower farms or farms around New Zealand every year, and it's getting bigger and bigger. And yeah, it's all about soil health and all of the microbiomes and all of the stuff that kind of lives in the soil, and how farmers can improve their soil and how it can save the world, really.
Oh, it can. Absolutely.
Yeah.
It can save the world. That sounds amazing, Bex. We should
I
go.
know.
I just want to travel. I'm
I
done with
really do
life.
wanna go there.
How can we get millions?
We just need to find our, rich sponsors for the podcast. Yes, please. Okay.
Oh,
Listening.
how do we do that? Any rich sponsors out there would like to send Rebecca and myself to Europe, preferably. Where do you want to go, Bex? I just said that. Where do you want to go? Maybe you want to go somewhere else.
I want to go everywhere.
Yeah, it's great. Traveling, I remember how much it brings you alive,
Yeah.
and you kind of, it made me realize that, oh, that's why I love traveling so much, because you've got no responsibilities. You don't have a million kids going, Mom, what's for dinner? What's this? And you're thinking about running a household,
Yeah.
which is a privilege. I recognize that, but gee, it's nice to be free again.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll go back and be an air hostess again. You want to come? Chicken or beef?
All right. So we're going to flip the script
Ah.
and you can ask me a few questions. I have the power of editing though. So
Oh, Bexley, I've got my questions that everyone has messaged and asked to be read out. So I'll be over here reading as well and
Yeah.
talking to you. But Miss Beck, we love you very much. You just want to say that on behalf of all the growers and the community. And what you do is awesome. And the time that you put in to dish the dirt, I know you put a lot of time into editing and to making it come alive. And it was just #1 recently, wasn't it? Which is no surprise.
Yeah. But it's
Tell
down
us
to
about
like
that.
number 26 now. So, I mean, let's not go too deep into it.
It's still awesome. It's still awesome. It's something we need to recognize, because what you're doing is unique. You know what I mean? What you're doing is beautiful and unique. So we always make the grower dish the dirt. So now it's your turn. For any new people, can you explain how this podcast has grown from the time you started?
I guess it started off just me with my iPhone and a pair of headphones. I now have like a fancy microphone, so I guess it's grown.
Love
It's
that.
still in my house, but I don't know, we're like 90 episodes in now, and it's not just a podcast, it's become a bit of a movement. So I have done Growers Avenue at Melbourne Flower and International Garden Show and held events and travelled and heaps of stuff. So yeah, it's grown in that way, which is fun.
When you hit the first record button, did you ever know that it would get to this? Would get this massive?
No way. I haven't even, I need to go back and listen to that first episode and probably cringe, but just over me and my questions. But yeah, no, I didn't really think I'd still be doing it 6 years in. I must be crazy. Yeah.
Crazy is good. We like the crazy creative. And for you, what do you think, how has it changed your life personally and professionally?
How's it changed my life? Gosh, I am still as poor as I was at the beginning, so it hasn't done that for me.
Okay. We'll find that millionaire to fix that. Don't worry. They're out there somewhere. Hello, millionaire. We know you can hear us.
But I feel enriched by everyone that I speak to all the time. I love it. I got off, I was having a bad week and I recorded an episode the other day and I got off it and I just felt so enlightened and inspired, and I was like, this is why I do this, because I hear these stories and I love what people are doing, and everyone inspires me. So it's not just for the people listening, it's selfishly, it's for myself too. So it's cool. It's great.
Wow, we love, just keep doing it. We love it, honey. After dozens of growers, like people that you've interviewed, is there a piece of advice or a moment from a guest that generally changed how you garden?
Okay, so I do garden now. So that's one thing that's changed for me. And it was actually wildflowers that changed it for me. I love the rhodanthe and I love how easily they grow. So everyone has always talked about this like self-seeding business, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, okay, this just doesn't happen for me. And Emily from Petal and Bow gave me a few packets of her rhodanthe seeds. And she said to me, okay, you just sprinkle this on your garden and they'll just pop up if you have rain, in the next couple of days, or otherwise give them a quick water. I was like, okay, sure. I'll sprinkle them and they'll grow. Like, I've heard this a million times. And I did it and they all came up and they were like bloody amazing. And I'm now hooked. So I've just got a few more packets for this season and I've just put it all through my lawn, all everywhere. So hopefully I just have like this big paper daisy wondrous field outside. We'll
Yeah,
see.
oh, sounds beautiful.
But yeah, I love it. They're great.
You've got the bug. You've got the bug.
Yeah.
This is how it starts, Nick. Watch out. This is how it all starts. I want to talk about your beautiful Growers Avenue at the Melbourne Flower and Garden Show. I mean, it was quite extraordinary what you brought together this year for all of the international flowering community to see. Why did it matter so much for you to put micro growers on the big stage?
I feel like it's a movement that has become really strong in Australia, and the more micro flower farmers we have, I think the more accessible local flowers are becoming for people. So you can just pop down, look on Instagram, find somebody in your area and pop down and buy some beautiful roadside flowers. I still encourage people, if you've got an event, like wedding or a funeral or christening or whatever it might be, to find your local florist, because they're the ones that are able to kind of put together those really special pieces. But if you're just wanting some flowers for your home, yeah, it's become so much more accessible for people to find micro growers. And I just wanted people coming through the flower show to really think about where their flowers were coming from. And by being able to bring all these people together and for them to bring their little piece of their story, I feel like it made people connect with it more than just if it's a stand with buckets of flowers. They kind of can see like a little patch of their dirt and a little bit of like how things come together for them. And the farmers were allowed to be in the avenue too and kind of chat to people. So again, it just kind of reinforced that storytelling that these are people who are out there that you can find who are growing these amazing flowers. And yeah, it was really fun. And they did such an incredible job because heaps of them just did it by themselves. I mean, I was there to help them, but yeah, they did, all the design and everything themselves. So that was cool.
Yeah, it was extraordinary. And each, as you said, each stall had their own story and their own take. And they were so whimsical, and some were arty and some were lush, but it was so lovely just being able to chat to the growers,
Yeah.
and to see their passion behind what they do as well, and just put a face to the movement, and real stories, real people, just like you and me.
Yeah, it's so cool. And lots of people didn't realize, you hear people going through and they're like, oh, we didn't know that you could grow that. Or
Mhm.
how did you grow that? Or where is that dahlia tuber? Or, we didn't realize that local flowers were such a thing. So yeah, you're kind of surprised that people don't know. But yeah, the general public probably just doesn't know unless somebody puts it in front of them. So
Yeah, which is what you did a great job of doing. So, is there a dream guest or dream feature for Growers Avenue you haven't pulled off yet?
Is there a dream guest? I don't. I honestly think, and this is maybe the reason why Dish the Dirt has been running for 6 years, is that I don't think any grower is better than another grower. I don't think anyone is more important than anyone else. I genuinely believe that everyone has a place in this industry and can have a place and can make money from it. So, I mean, there was a dream for Growers Avenue, it would just be to have more people get behind it and in any way, shape, or form that they wanted to, because yeah, it doesn't matter where you are in your journey, you still have a story to tell. So, yeah.
Beautiful. And you are a Kiwi girl. I love there's some amazing florists who are Kiwis. And I always put that down because we come from such a beautiful country. Like I always used to say New Zealand was the world's best kept secret when I was a flight attendant. People would ask me, when I'm in Dubai, where's the most beautiful country in the world? And I said, well, there's this place called New Zealand, because it truly is. It's all beauty in one. It's like Iceland, it's like Switzerland. It is everywhere you go, there's beauty. And I think yourself and Emily from Northside and Cecilia Fox, you're shaped by your beautiful environment and to come so second nature to you to work with beauty. So you have got a workshop coming up in New Zealand. Do you want to tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, so it just happened really because my mum insisted that we go over for 3 weeks with the kids. And I mean, I love New Zealand, but 3 weeks is quite a long time to hang out with your mum. So I decided I've always wanted to do a workshop over there, mainly because the environment is so different. It's so wild, so beautiful. There's heaps of wildflowers and New Zealand native plants that we don't have over here that I love to use. The fact that you can forage without having to worry about snakes is another big bonus for me. So that's cool. But it's in this tiny little place called Kakanui, which is on the coast between Dunedin and Christchurch.
Mm-hmm.
And the coast there is really wild. So there's like seals, penguins, beautiful, like massive bits of driftwood that kind of come up, all of this like ocean kelp. Yeah, it's just something really magical about it. It's not like a beach that you would probably get here. So I have set it there because it's kind of where I'm close to where I'm from. It had a high country sheep station like an hour up the road. So I spent a bit of time on the coast down there. And yeah, it's going to be in this little church building, which these people are renovating. And it's really beautiful. It's all wood. And yeah, I think it'll be cool. I think.
What color is the sand at the beach, on the beach there?
It's grey. It's not like black or anything, but it's just really rocky, like big pebble rocks. And yeah, all the seals kind of come up because they hunt around there, and there's little baby seal nurseries. Little baby seals get born there, and they all swim in the rocks and play. And yeah, you just have to take a stick with you when you walk down the beach. That's the only.
So is taking Dish the Dirt across the ditch part of the bigger plan to connect Aussie and Kiwi growers?
I think it's a great place to start. I'm doing it a bit from my forestry background as well. So I have this idea, I guess, to connect my two worlds of podcasting and storytelling along with the floristry that I have done in the past. And I love creating big installation pieces. So I'd love
Which is so good at
that side of that. And also, yeah, teach them how to tell their stories and give them a few like meaningful takeaway moments. I'm also really I was a hospo girl for a really long time. So I'm planning on this big, beautiful meal where we all kind of get together and tell our stories and share moments. I'm doing it with a friend of mine, Anna, as well, and she's a business coach and mentor. So she's got some really great things to share with people. But yeah, I think it's great to connect with, Aussies and Kiwis, and there is a strong connection there already, I think. So it's good to connect.
Definitely. We love the Kiwis. We love the Kiwis. And the Kiwis love us, hopefully. So where do you see
I love Australians too.
Oh, that's
Just not when they're
friendly.
playing rugby.
Yes, all the World Cup. I'm loving the World Cup. Loving the football.
Yeah.
So where do you see Dish the Dirt in 5 years' time? Where do you see the future for Dish the Dirt?
Look, hopefully I'm doing a bit more. I would love to have a book one day. I mean, that was why I started Dish the Dirt, because I wanted a coffee table book. So I guess that's got to happen at some point. And I don't know, I'd love to hold more events, also to kind of get back into my floristry a little bit. But I've got the Flower Hub now, which connects local growers with florists. So this season that'll be happening more. So I think Dish the Dirt will just kind of keep evolving, just doing what it's doing.
And just tell us a little bit about the Flower Hub, which you operate.
Yeah, so it only runs over like spring and summer. So it's closed at the moment because I basically just use micro flower farmers and they're all growing outdoors and seasonally and all of their farms are asleep at the moment. But it runs once a week out of a little community hall and people put in orders with the growers and then they just bring them to there. And it started because when I was a florist, I was driving around like a million different farms every week to try and
Yeah.
get the flowers that I wanted.
Yeah.
I felt like there must be an easier way to do that. So, yeah, they all come there. But then I act as like a personal shopper. So I'm going to Sydney markets in a couple of weeks for somebody who works in Dubai. And I'm ordering for them and kind of buying all local flowers for them. So there's two sides to it.
I love that. Flower dealer.
Yeah. Big
You can be my flower dealer.
no.
Love that. Love that. Deck shady, yo. After 5 years of championing local and seasonal, do you feel the movement has actually shifted? And what's the next thing you want to push for?
Yeah, I think it's definitely shifted heaps. I mean, you hear so much about local and seasonal flowers now that you didn't hear a few years ago. I know that so many florists are trying to find local flower farmers as opposed to a few years ago as well. I just see that through the Flower Hub and how many people really care about buying from like local growers. The next thing I'd love to push for is that we build a stronger flower industry for people getting into farming. I'd like to see people sharing their land if they're able to farm share a little bit more, like so many things to just strengthen the industry that we have so that we don't lose it. We don't have a big industry body in Australia. There's not one for all. But when you do find a good industry body like Wildflowers Australia, I would say honestly that they are one of the best flower associations in Australia and they really care about their wildflower growers. And hopefully we can just get a few more industry bodies happening that for specific growers, one for roses and that sort of thing so that it can help people.
Definitely, definitely.
Yeah.
And then if your famous question that you ask at the end of every podcast, if you had to take three things with you because like, I don't know, there's a massive fire or something happens, and now you have to quickly get things away from your garden or off your farm, dun, 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 dun. Aside from the gin bottle, what would you take, Beck Noble?
I reckon I'm going to point my camera. So, can you see that?
Beautiful.
Yeah, and like those two like little thingies, they're that and well, that and that.
Yeah.
My girls made those, so I would take those with me, and they're just made out of like garden bits and pieces, and I love them. And then I've got my vases, which I've got a whole heap of these guys, which I found in Morocco. And
Bring to the camera, hon. Sorry, I can't see. Bring them to the camera. I want to see the little vases.
right.
Oh,
Yes.
wow.
So
Oh, wow.
yeah, I've got a whole heap of these in like different shapes and sizes and stuff. You can't actually put water in them because they leak.
Yeah.
But
Yeah. Is that allium? Is that allium?
they're like pottery.
No, the flowers. Sorry, the dried flowers.
Oh, they're alliums.
Alliums, yeah.
They're cool, aren't they? They're from
They're so
Sahara.
fun.
I know, I love them.
I use them for fire starters.
Oh, do you?
I saved mine.
You know how big these became like this year? These wonky stem alliums? Like
Huge. Huge.
everyone wanted them.
There was also a glut of the bulbs coming from the growers. Like they've had too many. So I'm wondering if that had something to do with it. I wonder that. Like they were cheapest chips to buy for like 1,500. The cheapest chips to get 1,500 alliums.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. Really cheap to buy the bulbs.
Ah, cool. Well, hopefully everyone's making them grow twisty this year because
Yeah, they're cool. They're a lot of fun. It's interesting, isn't it, to watch the trends? I've noticed like fruit's always been there, but fruit's coming back in with the forestry work, and it's fascinating to see the floral design and how it changes over the years. I find that really interesting to watch the trends, the floral trends. The question, when is your retreat coming up in New Zealand? When are the dates for that?
It's September. So September the 26th till the 27th. And tickets are still available. We've sold a few, so that's cool. But yeah,
How
it's
can
going to
we
be
get
great.
tickets?
Sorry?
How can we get the tickets?
On my website. I've got a website.
You got a website. I need you in my life to get me organised, Bexy. I'm going to come live into Ivanhoe and help me. I need a mate to help me.
God, don't ask me. I'm terrible at it. All right, my love. Thank you so much for
darling.
coming on Dish the Dirt and doing it all again 5 years later. It's just the best.
Oh, well, keep up your magic, Bex. And I know I've had you in my ears so many times when I've been, weeding or planting or gardening. And it's so nice to hear. I love your podcast because it makes me not feel alone. I meet all these other beautiful women and men along the journey who are too growing love. And it's so lovely that I feel you give this beautiful sense of community. When I listen to your podcast, I'm having this wonderful access into these people's lives, and I think, wow, what an honor to hear their stories. And you are the fabric that puts them together. So we are so grateful for what you're doing, and just keep being blooming fabulous, as you say.
I know. Keep being blooming fabulous. You too. I can't wait to come to India and for us to be at Chelsea.
Yeah, we're going to do it.
A huge thank you to Petrina. You bring me so much joy and I love chatting to you. We have actually caught up within the last 5 years, and every single time I do catch up with you, I am left with just the best feeling. So thank you so much for sharing your journey with us today. You can find her in her glorious garden over on Instagram at Petrina Blooms. If you'd love to be on the show, there is no farm too big or too small. Get in touch at dishthedirtpodcast@gmail.com. And you know what? A review on Apple Podcasts always helps more growers and dreamers find their stories. So until next time, get out there, do your thing, and keep being blooming fabulous.